Welcome to the first episode of the War Room. I'm your host Frankie Bonanno, and we're going to get down to business here. So with this one, I'm going to show you guys how to fix mangled finds that you uncover in like a farm field, things like that, where it's going to have a plow coming through and just kind of smash it, or who knows, maybe it's a high traffic trail, or maybe someone stepped on it when it was first dropped and really mangled the piece. So as you can see here, I have a full spoon, a partial spoon, and a small piece of brass. Now I'm going to straighten that piece of brass without breaking it. I'm going to adjust that spoon bowl on that first complete spoon to where it's round again, and then I'm going to unbend that partial spoon. These are fairly simple techniques to use. I would use scrap pieces first to master it before you move on to some of your nicer pieces, such as this brooch, necklace type deal. It's not really a brooch, more of a necklace. This is a picture of it before I used my method. Now this is after I heated it and did everything I was supposed to do to get it to bend without breaking it. I also reapplied a patina on there to kind of make it uniform, because pre-warning here, when you're applying heat to brass, whatever patina is on there is going to burn off, and you will have to reapply a patina, which I will cover in the next video for the War Room. I'm going to show you guys how to kind of put a patina over a piece of metal that you adjusted using this method. I wouldn't recommend using it on nicer finds, but you can use it to kind of save, say, a really wiped copper. I think I'll do that. I'll fix a copper for you guys. I have a pretty worn out copper. It's got barely any face on it, and I don't mind kind of altering it to kind of show you guys how this works. But for this video, strictly, we're going to be bending brass pieces that are just mangled beyond repair. So let's get started. Alright guys, for this process, you're going to need a little propane torch. These are fairly inexpensive. You get them at Home Depot, Lowe's, etc. Best part is you could reuse these tips, so you just got to buy the refill tanks if you deplete this one. You'll need a small little reservoir for water. I just use a little, these used to be cold cuts. So I just use that to put my water in. Room temperature water is best. You don't have to make it cold or anything like that. Nice pair of tongs that are longer, because you don't want the heat to travel. If you're running a tiny pair of tongs, the heat will quickly travel down to your hand, and you don't want to deal with that. And then you need your pieces. I recommend doing this outside because it is a fire hazard. It could get a little messy, but I've been using this technique a while, so I'm fairly comfortable doing it inside. Also, final warning, this will strip patina off your item. So this is meant for those items that are looking like this, and you can't display that all nice and pretty. So, last warning, this will strip the patina off. Alright, so let's get started. Just crank up your tank here. There you go. Grab your piece with your tongs. So first part we're going to bend this section here nice and flat first, the spoon bowl. So we'll grab it down here at this end and start heating it. You want to get a nice uniform heat over the area. It'll start to glow a little bit. That's what you're looking for. Don't get too low, because you won't get a good heat. If you're up nice and high, mix it with the air, get a nice heat. As you can see, I'm starting to get a nice glow going. Get a little bit warmer, more uniform across those sides. Get it cooled off completely. You're going to do this again. Now, unlike steel, when it comes to brass, it gets softer after you heat it and rapidly cool it. Steel, on the other hand, will crystallize the molecules in there, and it'll make it more brittle, so it won't be able to bend. But brass is the complete opposite. So if you've run into issues heating brass in the past, and you tried bending it while hot and you broke it, that's why. So what happens is when you heat it and then rapidly cool it, it makes it soft, almost like lead. You just do it a couple times, and if you start to bend and you feel resistance, just heat it, drop it in, bam. Okay, it's cool the tip of your tongs too, so that way you're not keeping the heat on the tongs. We'll do that one more time, and I think we'll be good to bend it. Make sure you're paying attention to your piece. Making sure you're not overheating it and melting it, because thin brass tends to heat up and start to ball up on the edges due to the heat. Getting a nice heat there, starting to glow good. That's what you're looking for there. See that nice glow? Alright, sorry about that. My camera died midway there. But I just threw it in the water, and it should be soft enough now to where I could start bending it. You don't want to apply too much pressure because you could still snap it. This is going to make it so it's a little bit easier and less brittle. So as you can see, I'm already making really good progress here. Slowly making it back to its original shape. So, and then you could use like a hard surface, like an ammo can, to help roll edges and things like that, to help shape. Just kind of work it with your hands. But as you can see here, I'm already back to a straight spoon bowl here. I need to shape this bowl portion, kind of round it out more. But as you can see, I'm flat. The cracked area there is mated back up with the other side. Now, I don't want to bend too much because I'm starting to feel some resistance. So what's going to happen now is you just go right back to the same process. You bring back your torch. Crank that heat back up. Grab your trusty tongs. Now you know exactly where you want to be heating. Is you want to heat the spot you're having resistance, because that spot hardened up on you through the bending process. Make sure you're cooling those tongs so they don't stay hot on you. And back in the water. I kind of set myself up for the next bend. I'm just going to go ahead and start getting that elbow heated up. Presto. Kill our torch. Alright, and go right back into bending. So, bending out the spoon bowl is a little bit more difficult. Just because you are trying to almost like make a dent. And you could use the palm of your hand and just, because it's nice and soft here, and put your thumb right in the middle of that bowl. Pack it down, and your palm will naturally kind of help shape the bowl a little bit. But that's where we're at on that. Then start bending this tang of the spoon here. Alright, start to get a little bit of resistance there, so what do? We go right back to the heat, but try to get a little bit more of the spoon bowl bent out. Bring out a nice hard surface. You could even use like a modern spoon that you have in your house. If you don't really like that spoon that much, you could bend it back and kind of lay that spoon bowl right over the top. And if you get like a semi-hard surface, something more like rubber, or a stacked bit of towels on a hard surface to where it'll have a little bit of give on the edges, you can really get it bent really solid. But I'm on a glass top here, and I don't want to really do that. But I'll leave the spoon bowl kind of how it is right now. I got a nice semi-rolled edge. And then we'll just go ahead and heat this this tang one more time. We'll get this straightened out. Get the bend in it, nice and little bits at a time. Don't want to overdo it and break it. Now, like I said, you won't always get it perfect, but you get a whole heck of a lot better than it originally was. And that's what we got right here. So just wipe off some of this burn off patina. Bam, check that out. So what we originally had was kind of like a Z shape. We had this bent that way, and this came back, and then the spoon bowl was bent up. But now we got a flattened spoon bowl here, semi-straight upper portion, but you could really display all that nice ornate work on there in a display case now, and you could also use a much thinner case and you could put it in with a bunch of other finds. That's one of the main purposes I use for this this technique. But as you can see, I burnt off the patina, and that's gonna be that way. So if I wanted to, I can keep heating and cooling, and really work this spoon bowl out right now. You could also use a little ball peen hammer to use to roll it. Don't like hammer it, but just use it as a tool to shape the spoon bowl. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and finish this piece along with some of these other pieces, and then I'll give you that nice before and after shot. Alright, this wraps up the first episode of the War Room. As you can see, we bent back our pieces. They look way better than they did prior to that treatment. We rolled out a piece of brass. The very end of that larger spoon is paper thin, and we're still able to bend it. Something I should add in there is maybe you should wear goggles when doing this, because some of the patina can tend to crack and pop off. Only more reason to be doing this outside rather than inside. But you can't argue with those results. These spoons look great. This little piece of brass, we managed to bend that back flat. Granted, it's nothing important, just I wanted to demonstrate that little thin pieces of brass can still be worked and not have any repercussions from it by using this technique properly. Alright, so the next episode is kind of going to be dictated by you guys. I was thinking about doing reapplication of patina, and we just do it on these here spoons, kind of show how it works. But if you guys want to talk about research, you guys want to talk about anything at all, you guys dictate the topic of this show. So comment below, let me know what you guys think of this episode and what you'd like to see in future episodes, and you just might see it. Alright guys, have a good one.